Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live coverage coming your way right now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and round 10 of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in Canada. Unsurprisingly, Andrew Woodhouse here with Adam Bath. And Adam, well, we've got the track guide coming up just shortly, but it's going to be a good one here tonight. I think that it's quite hot temperatures, so the drivers they're going to have their hands full.
Yeah, whenever we seem to come here, we always seem to guarantee a good race, no matter what series it is. I think we've pretty much set up camp here the last week or so, because we were here for the World GT Championship a week ago, and now we're back here for the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. So looking forward to this one. And as you mentioned, we have got a track guide, so you can see the track map as well up on the screen. And yeah, we're about to find out what it takes to get around this 3.91 kilometre circuit in Bowmanville, Canada.
Welcome, everyone, to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, located here in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today in the Ford Mustang around this 2.5-mile road course. Canadian Tire was originally named Mossport and was built in the late 1950s. Its first major event was held on August of 1961, with Sterling Moss getting the win in his Lotus 19. Hence the name of turns 5A and B, Moss Corner. Well, let's begin our track guide around this beautiful road course as we gear up down the front straightaway here, a very short front straightaway, mind you, as we cross the start-finish line and head down into turn 1 here. Blind on entry, drops off, very fast corner through Apex, but be very careful on exit. Don't want to dip a tire in that dirt. Heading up to turn 2, the next blind corner here as the track just drops out from underneath us. Down to the fast left-hander here. Coming out wide, setting up back to the left for turn 3. Want to get a nice smooth entry here as that is a little bit of an off-camber corner at Apex. This will bring us down to turn 4, yet another drop-off. The track just falls right out from underneath of you. Down into the heavy braking zone, into Moss Corner, 5A and B. Want to get that nice smooth rotation, modulate the throttle over the hill there, get a good run out of the exit, back up through the gears, and around turn 6 here as we come out onto the backstretch here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Very long, fast straightaway here. It has a few slight bends in it. As we approach turn 7 here, this is just a slight right. It's the only opportunity at this course for drivers to get a lot of draft, and overtaking opportunities happen right here. Coming down into turn 8. Double right-hander. Back down into 3rd gear to get this left into turn 9 and set up for White's Corner, turn 10. Final turn on the track as we come out of 10. Right out to the edge, get that fast launch down the front straightaway across the stripe and back down into turn 1. There's your track guide for Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Great to have you with us. Thank you.
Well, thanks to the guys there for bringing us that track guide. Certainly a challenge, this circuit. It doesn't look like much on paper. We saw, as Adam said, you could see the track map on the screen. And yeah, it's quite a unassuming layout, isn't it, Adam? But that would be if it was a flat circuit, for instance. This is far from that.
It's what makes, I think it's what makes this circuit, isn't it? The undulation, the way that some of these corners, like the one we're just going through here, can invite you to going off into that grass area there, where we saw quite a lot of drivers do in the World Sports Car Series. And look how unforgiving it is as well. Just tyre barriers and concrete walls here. And we saw what happened to Anwar Smith in his Porsche last Monday as well, where he just absolutely went flying by one of our cameras.
Oh man, that was
that very corner there.
That was amazing visual, wasn't it? And we definitely saw, yeah, that one definitely took us by surprise. But yeah, you do hit walls here if you go off, and it's an unusual situation for a lot of the circuits that we go to now. So definitely something for the drivers to think about. This double right-hander at the end of the straight is the beginning of the back straight is key, because you've got to really get on the power early, carry as much speed as you can. And Stephen Thomas leads the championship there, 243 points over Kevin Ford. Aaron Nom in third, Jeff Jacobs fourth, Russell Ruddock fifth in GS. And in going into the ST class, Rob Hartley leads the way. Jim List in second, Giuseppe Iannucci third, Mike Dam in fourth, and Greg Mack in fifth. Andrew Fawcett leads the open category in GS. And then in ST for the open category, Greg Mack leads the way ahead of Chris Tom and Jody Fite, Michael Key, Mike Taylor. Here we go then. We've just got the final sector to go. And Aaron Nom looking for an 8th win, Adam, out of the 8 races that he will have started. Quite remarkable.
It's a 100% record. We were talking to him last week at Phillip Island, and he reckons he can still catch the leaders in the championship. As here we go, green lights.
Not surprised if you won all those races. And Nom takes the green light into turn 1 then. And Aaron Nom comfortably through this time. And into the tricky turn 2, where I would not be surprised if we see somebody off the track and into the tyre wall. Everybody does behave themselves and judge it well. Now the MX-5's into turn 1, car 93 is Mike Dam, Crypto G Orange Racing. Didn't even start the race last week, but he's here now.
Yeah, we spoke to Mike Dam, didn't he? He came in and joined us in the broadcast for that one.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd have rather been out on the track, but yeah, he managed to tell us what was going on. Unfortunate circumstances, really. Leading the way here. Second place, John Allen. It's good to see him. I haven't seen a lot of John Allen this season.
So they're having a go going through the back section of the circuit. They're just going onto the back straight now. As off goes a bit wide, there goes Greg Mack, the leader of the open category in the Mazda MX-5s. He's got Travis Schwenke for company behind him, and then Jim List in what is a very heavily subscribed field that we've got today, which is good to see. We've got 30 cars in total.
It's very good.
17 Mustangs, and that must mean 13 Mazdas.
John Allen's actually second last in the championship. He's only competed in 2 races so far this season out of the 9 that we've had. But yeah, he knows what he's doing, and I wonder if we'll see a slightly odd pitch strategy from him. We have seen that in the past, and we've seen it work a couple of times. Aaron Nom leading the way, the Estonian driver in the Team Bushwick Racing Ford Mustang, ahead of Tyler Shiflett for Team Ramrod Racing, and then Jeff Jacobs for Jacobs Racing. He wasn't messing about with the team name, was he?
Just says what it is, really. It does what it says on the tin, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's Ron Seal Racing. That's what I should have called it. Leon Wright has been taken by Fawcett. Andrew Fawcett has made a move there on Leon Wright. Car 9, head of 77 now. And we'll see how it happened into turn 2. Not turn 2, sorry.
It did look like turn 2, I must admit. That camera is deceiving. This is at the top of the hill, then there he goes.
Oh, he runs widely on Leon Wright. He was lucky not to lose out to Nathan Thomas as well. That's right, and now he's trying to fight back. Through the final section of the course. Look at that. Look how close we are to Andrew Fawcett now. Fawcett's up 3 positions from where he started in 14th. Aaron fastest lap of the race, 1:27.8. So 1:27.9 for Aaron.
I noticed that we've gone for the what FOM now use, a few sound effects in there for when we transition through the replays.
Yeah, I quite like that. It's good. It's like a kung fu film. It's quite good. Whoosh. The gaps are very close. Look, just looking at it, nearly everybody within a second of each other. Mike Dam and John Allen have actually broken away at the front of the MX5 pack. You can see that actually as we look at Jim List. You can see the gap in front, nearly 2 seconds. So already a bit of work to do for he and Travis Schwenke. You know that Travis Schwenke is not going to shy away from that challenge though, with a couple of seconds on the track like this.
Looking here at Travis Schwenke. Of course, long way to go, and we usually talk about this opening stint as being the sort of stalemate in the Mazda MX-5 class. John Allen definitely won't say that as he attempts to put the pressure on Mike Dam, who is its home race. It is Mike Dam's home race here today, so he'll be hoping that things go well for him in the Crypto-G Mazda as they go over the top of the hill.
Well, unfortunately, as Nathan Thomas, it's saying Nathan Thomas is out of the race.
Dear.
Adam, and Travis McGill's out as well. I wonder if they've come to blows together.
Right, let's see if we can find what happens here.
And Coffard is out and Warren's out. There's a few cars in the pits with damage.
Right, here we go. Final corner. Oh. Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Well, that was... Well, let's see if we can get another angle on that, maybe? Yeah, so... Oh... Who's that who loses it? 12 is David Warren. Warren loses it, and for Thomas and McGill. Oh, what was it? Coffard, the other one?
It was, yeah, McGill, Warren, Thomas, and Coffard. So, yeah, 4 Mustangs all suffering there.
Oh, 3 of them in one go, and that's it's unusual for this series, actually, to get a 3-car pile-up like that.
Yeah, not often we see something like that.
And Aeronom has decided, I think, he's not going to be messing about in this race. 1.3 seconds is the advantage, and it's only gaining. You can see the smoke coming from the pit lane as there are engines blown and things overheating. After that crash, multiple car crash. Now, John Allen's only a 10th of a second behind Mike Dam, but again, I don't think we should get too excited, Adam, based on the fact that the way the rules are in this series, the guys at the front know that if you can save that little bit of fuel, if you can save a lap of fuel, it could make all the difference because these cars get refueled so slowly.
Compared to some of the series that we usually cover on Apex Racing TV, they definitely do. Like the World GT Championship, the fuel goes in like nothing. But here...
Yeah, and we do the iRacing Grand Prix series as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the fuel goes in, obviously, no time at all in that one. So
fuel flow...
But yeah, I think that's the thing, though, isn't it? That's the deciding factor, is that you can... If you put 1 lap less of fuel in, it might save you half a second to a second, and that might be enough to just jump the guy in front. Might even be more than that. It might be a couple of seconds, depending on the car.
It's getting close in the battle for second here. Aeronom obviously is away with it, but as we look back from the rear of Tyler Shiflett sat in second place, he has got Jeff Jacobs, he's got Stephen Thomas, and he's got Kevin Ford all for company. Kevin Ford, he did pretty well at Phillip Island last week until it also sort of unravelled during the pit stop phase. But doing well, sat in 5th here, driving for Flintstone Racing, and he's got Stephen Thomas for Driftline in front, and then Jeff Jacobs for Jacobs Racing, who we've already talked about and we're riding on board with, sat in 3rd.
Yeah, good to see Jeff up there in the top 3. Definitely got the ability. He was a long time in the MX5 category.
Oh.
It did say Travis Fenke had been off the course, but I feel like he just maybe dipped some wheels off the track.
It's one of our biggest movers so far, Travis Fenke. 6 positions gained in the early going.
Well, it looks like Jeff Lovell might have dropped down the order because Chris Torment, Michael Key and Patrick Prevenas have all gone past him. And you can see here what happens, and it could be a turn 2 job here for Lovell. It's going wide. Does he avoid the barrier? Yes. Well, those are easy places for Prevenas and for Key, and for Torment. He's since got past Prevenas again as Lovell.
Yeah, because Prevenas might have just gone off.
Has he gone off as well?
The same corner a lap later.
Oh, well, he was ahead of Lovell. He was nowhere near that, was he, Prevenas, that time?
And he too does an exceptional job to not hit anything there. Just in the Mazda MX-5s then. Gymless
has taken Travis Fenke, by the way, Adam, as well.
Yeah, they're just coming through the final corner in the background, and there you can see the yellow and black Mazda is now ahead of Travis Fenke.
I wonder if Gymlist feels that maybe he's a bit quicker and maybe he can close the gap.
Oh, here's a replay.
Fenke on the inside. Is this just going to go all the way around him, Adam? It looks like it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's clear. It's been impressive from Gymlist, hasn't it, over the last couple of seasons?
He's getting there, isn't he, Gymlist? He's had performances where he's been inside the top 3 at some of the other circuits. It's just trying to sustain it for the rest of the race, isn't it? Wait and see. Of course, one thing that we can expect with the likes of John Allen is that he's going to be one that's going to roll the dice when it comes to the strategy. So we'll keep an eye out for that. And this battle just continues to intensify here in the Ford Mustangs. The bright green car is, I believe, that is Stephen Thomas, isn't it, in the green car? I'm not just thinking it's Pasquale Iannucci, but here's number 4.
I can't see a green car, but I don't think I've got trading paints on. Actually, thinking about it.
There you go. I think it is Stephen Thomas.
I knew there was something I missed in my stupor.
I think neither Iannucci is with us today.
I'll put that on.
So just point that out. So that will make it a bit easier for us to identify Stephen Thomas. Oh, Kevin Ford has a slide on the exit at the right-hander, and fortunately,
few positions lost.
Slams on the anchors and doesn't hit anything and doesn't get hit by anybody, but he has now dropped down to 8.
Yeah, 8th position now, and he's dropping down out of the top 6.
He's down to 8th place. 10 years ago, that would be enough to score you 1 point in Formula 1. Now
that's true.
Now that scores you 4, I believe.
Yeah, well, it would have been enough to score you 1 point. And, 16 years ago, it wouldn't have got you any.
No.
So there we go.
I wonder what that would have done in terms of world titles.
I don't think much would have changed. I remember looking at it a while ago. But I think they said that only like maybe 1 or 2 of the world championships would have changed hands or something based on that. But I think...
But then we just go into our NASCAR rant about point systems there, and we could be here all night about how many titles Jeff Gordon could have won. Not that I'm bitter at all as a Jeff Gordon fan.
Well, not at all. But the thing is, I quite like points down to 10th. But if you remember, obviously, when points down to 10th came in, was when there were 24 cars, and there were intended to be 26 cars because there was another team that didn't make it for 2008. It was Toyota, wasn't it?
Stefan, or it was going to be known as Stefan GP or whatever it was, yeah.
So at one bit, you were going to get 10-point scoring places for 26 cars, and now you have 10-point scoring places for 20 cars, which I think's okay. Which I think's fine, but yeah, I think it's okay because, I mean, MotoGP gives points to most of the competitors, and it usually is a fairly close championship at the end. So
15.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would have been okay if there's still been 26 cars, for instance, in F1. I would have been okay with them giving 15 points down to 15th place. But the only problem I have as being a stats person, and like you're a stats person, is having 25 points for the win just kind of ruined the point statistics of the last 65, 70 years.
I think that the main point about that 2010 point system was to get those points down to 10th, and also to make it more important to win a race. Because before that,
because I think it has been.
It was just 2 points, wasn't it? 10 for a win, 8 for second. Now you get a 7-point swing between winning a race and finishing in second.
Yeah, you don't see many people settling for second place now, as we've seen over the last few races. But here comes Jim. Here comes I'll get it right in a minute. Here comes Travis Fenke having a look on Jim List into the final sector. And that majestic right-hander leading into the final complex. List sliding the car. It's fairly warm out there, so you won't want to be doing too much sliding, putting the tyres through too much strain. Schwenke for Asbury Motorsports.
Let's go for a lap here with Travis Schwenke. We've got the rev counter up on the screen. 5th gear, top gear going into... I don't think that... Does the Mazda have a 6th gear?
I don't think it does.
Going through the long left-hander at turn 2 then. And in front of us we have got Jim List. It's the fight for the final spot on the podium in the ST category. Building up the speed now.
Schwenke much tidier through turn 3.
170 kilometers an hour as we plunge downhill and back up again. 185 as we get on the brakes into this double apex right-hander. Look at the slide that the Mazda has there. That's a big one for Jim List, and means that he could really suffer here as we go down the back straight, and surely we'll reach 200 kilometers an hour by the time we get to the end of it.
That is a tremendous run by Schwenke. He's going to have no choice but to try and get through here on List. So he knows he needs to get after the front two. The only way he can do that is ridding himself of Jim List. But List isn't going to be beaten that easily. He's going to try and fight back into the right-hander. No, he's not.
Greg Mack's coming as well.
Well, Greg Mack leads the way in the open category for this car. It's having a good season for 2+ Motorsports.
These guys aren't too far away from starting the lapping process, and it is still pretty close. I don't know whether any work's been done on... Oh, hello, Jim List has gone off the circuit.
It says it's okay, though. He's just where he was, behind Schwenke. So I wonder if he just dipped a wheel or two into the grass. Maybe on the exit of turn 1. I think that's what we'll find here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he didn't lose anything. That's crazy, isn't it? Didn't lose any time, but well held and well kept onto the track by Jim List.
I was just going to say, I wonder...
Tyler Schiffler's got his hands full.
I know, I was just going to say, it is an elder statesman, the Mustang, but I wonder if any work has been done to help following a car to be a bit more easier, because we haven't seen racing this close in quite a while around a circuit like this. However, that being said, Mosport is pretty good for providing this wheel-to-wheel racing in the GS category. Sorry, yeah, the GS category.
Well, I'm not sure it was sort of publicly said. I could be wrong, but it definitely feels to me, having watched quite a few MX-5 races since I've come back, that the slipstream has definitely been reduced. It feels like it's not as powerful as what it used to be, and I think that's only a good thing in the MX-5. But in terms of the Mustang getting more slipstream, I don't know. Should we go on board with Jacobs and see what he's getting? See if he's getting any more?
Yes, let's.
I know this one used to be a decent one for a slipstream. It was like Road Atlanta. It used to be quite decent, depending on the wind speed and the wind direction.
As you can see from the rev counter. It is a 4-speed gearbox.
He gained a bit down there, but not. It wasn't a lot. Sounds good though, the Mustang, even though it's an old car. Purr of the V8.
I was walking to work this morning and I saw one of the new ones parked just across the road from my block, and do look very nice.
My friend's got one. He has to carry the petrol station around with him.
Have you ever seen that?
Because he bought the 5.6 litre or whatever it is.
Have you seen that episode of the Grand Tour where they try to refuel a car on the go?
No, I haven't.
No, that is a good one. Loads of explosions, as you can imagine.
Oh no, I might have done. I've seen them try to do it anyway. Were they drifting at one point?
They try to hire in full-on ninjas, don't they, to try and like hold on to the fuel filler cap, and then eventually it just. As here come the Mustang to lap the Mazdas.
That's one of those how hard can it be moments, isn't it? Yeah, they do come through. We're seeing a similar pattern in both classes where the leaders just got away slightly. Nom 5 seconds actually ahead of Shiflett now, and then Dam and Allen are together, but they're 4 seconds ahead of Schwenke. Still looking at this great battle.
How many
in
cars
GS?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 cars we've got. We've got all the way back down to, I'm guessing, about Brandon Whitworth. Are all covered here. No, not Brandon Whitworth. All the way back to Kevin Ford.
It's Shiflett, Jacobs, Thomas, Vigas, Ruddock. Russell Ruddock, that is. No Michael Ruddock, I don't think. And then TD, Travis Davis, and then Kevin Ford.
Nice shot.
Separated by a grand total of about 2 seconds.
There's everybody there.
That's a great picture. I mean, after 20 minutes of racing, that's quite remarkable to have that train.
Right, Patrick Prevost.
And they are trying to overtake each other as well. We've seen it. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, we're going to see what happened then. Is it going to be turn 1? Oh, I thought that was just... Right, here we go, turn 1. Hardware failure, potentially. No, he's going through the first corner. Everything's fine here. Turn 2?
Could be.
Through turn 2 we go.
Carries a lot of speed in the rear, sliding.
Well, it said that Patrick Prevost crashed, so I'm waiting for something to happen, and nothing's happening. So, don't know if that's just a problem with the overlay or something.
He's still going.
Yeah, don't know what happened there.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
is he still going?
Yeah, he is.
He is. Yeah, he is.
Well, while we were looking at...
Well, he's actually done his fastest first sector of the race, so I think he's fine.
So while the overlay was giving us a hoax there, you can see it's kicking off.
Oh! Well, Davis and Ford side by side. Ford inside. TD. They're teammates, aren't they?
Oh,
heck.
Jacobs has his nose up the inside of... Oh! Was that Vigas?
That's Vigas wide. Ford shoving Davis massively through 2. It's all kicking off here. Vigas throws the car into the right hander at turn 3.
TD doesn't know where to go. He's going to try up the inside of Kevin Ford. Ford's going to try and hang it out around the outside here as we go up to the top of the hill. 2 wide through here.
It's a good battle.
And 2 of the elder statesmen of the series. 2 very experienced drivers.
Oh! Clint Vigas has a lot of experience as well, don't forget. He's been a title challenger in a couple of the seasons that we've covered here on the channel.
Yeah, so this now massive pack is made up of Thomas in Shiflett in second, Thomas third, then it's Vigas, then Ruddock, then Jacobs, big loser there, then it's Davis, and then it's Ford.
Well, this lot need to be careful that they don't detach themselves from the group in front by battling, really.
Oh, very wide Mustang of Vigas in the black and grey privateer mode.
Have we almost got the 2013 Monaco Grand Prix effect going on with these Mustangs, where they're just trying to save fuel and tyres? Oh, crash! It's Vigas. It's Jacobs, sorry.
Oh my goodness me!
And he's over.
And
is he going to get back down? He does get back down. Can he keep going?
Oh,
Travis Davis is involved as well.
Davis looks like he's done or something of sorts. Right, let's see what happened then.
Oh no, Davis is back going again. Let's see.
Right, slow motion for the first corner.
Oh, he just loses it on his own, doesn't he?
Does he carry he carries a lot of speed going into the corner. I don't think that's his fault in a way. Kevin Ford very lucky not to pick any more damage up on his way through. It'll be good on ball actually. Yeah,
he got a piece of it, didn't he? But he was lucky he didn't just absolutely smash Travis Davis.
Forward, Kevin Ford then. The traffic doesn't help, I don't think. Even though, oh dear, that's a bit of damage for Kevin Ford, more than it looked like at the beginning.
Did he lose it on his own, or did he get hit? I still can't actually prove it.
Who shall we have? Shall we have
the one in front? Davis, I think.
We want Jacobs, don't we?
No, go for Davis and see if he actually hits him.
Yeah. There we go.
Yes.
Yes, he does, yeah.
May just take a penalty for that.
We'll wait and see what the stewards... Maybe that's why he was slowing down. He was waiting for Jacobs to
maybe
get back going again.
Oh, that might actually mean that there's no need for any punishment actually by the stewards. Tyler Shiflett and Stephen Thomas, meanwhile. Stephen Thomas, the championship leader.
I wonder if it did, well, they've both come into their pits, Davis and Jacobs. I reckon it deserves more than a reprimand, which is what I believe a certain driver should have got more than on Sunday. Open that.
Well, that was actually 2 offences, actually, if you think about it. We've got it on the way in and on the way out.
Well,
he crossed the line on the way into the pits. He crossed the line on the way on the aborted attempt. But there you go. Just quickly, Jim List and Travis Fenke swapped places in the last couple of laps.
And
yes, that's happened. That's happened twice, I believe, on the same lap. It's just Patrick Prevost has crashed. I wonder if he actually has this time. I think he might have done because he's done a 1:48.
Right, shall we have a look? Right, we're giving. This is proper full-on boy who cries wolf here. And now he's just disappeared. I wonder if that's what.
Oh no! Here we go. There it is. Oh, he's round. Oh, he hasn't crashed at least. At least he hasn't hit any. Oh no, he has now.
Touch. I don't know whether the live timing counts a loss of control as a crash or a hit with a wall, but
potentially. But I mean, technically he crashed into the wall, but it was a small hit. But it was a spin that cost him 15 seconds. Prevost.
Loving this. Throwback to some of the races from the previous seasons here, but they're in separate class. Well, they're in the same class now. This is John Allen applying the pressure to Mike Dammers. Matthew Katila into the pits. We are quickly approaching the halfway mark of this race, and it looks like it is one of the scheduled stops. 17.6 seconds for Katila. As here comes
is John Allen going to try and take the lead here? No, he's not. Maybe a little bump draft. So John Allen's waiting for the pit stops. 100%. Could have easily made a move there. And speaking of pitting, Mike Dam is in. This is where John Allen is going to absolutely have to boot it. He's going to have to completely change his driving style. Adam, he's going to have to wring the neck of that MX-5.
Travis Fenke also in. You can see that from the pit lane at the bottom. Tyler Shiflett.
Oh, more smoke.
Smoke.
More smoke coming from the pit lane. Quite sure who that was. Tyler Shiflett and Clint Vigus are in as well.
All action in the pit lane. There's Tyler Shiflett from second place. Clint Vigus also in. Dam and Schwenke you can also see at the bottom of the screen as well. So action in both classes here. The car's getting jacked up. You can see the damage also on Jeff Jacobs' car. That's from earlier on. He's still in the pit lane. Away goes Mike Dam. You just saw him there at the bottom of your picture. There he is. It is a 21.1 second stop for the leading Mazda. Well, what was the leading Mazda. In comparison, Tyler Shiflett is away. 18.6 second stop. 23.2 for Clint Vigus. Slightly longer stop. Don't know whether he's putting a little bit extra fuel in, or he's taken some extra tyres, maybe an extra 2 tyres.
Could be 4 tyres for Vigas, yeah. Or could have missed his box potentially, but that wouldn't have counted on pit stop time, would it, on iRacing? So, we'll see. We'll see what happens for Vigas. Anyway, he's usually good in the second half of the race. We know that. So we'll see if he can mount a comeback. There's no comeback that needs to be had for him. He's leading the way by quite some distance. It's not often we get both classes pitting together, actually.
No, it's pretty exciting. Usually we have it where the Mustangs pit first, and then we get the Mazdas springing some late drama towards the end of the race, like in the final 15 minutes. Stephen Thomas is in Driftline Racing from second place, or what was second place. And this will be interesting to see, because I wonder if he will emerge before Tyler Schiffler and Clint Vigas arrive on the scene.
Well, he does lead the championship, Stephen Thomas. So he's to try and maximise these points.
Pit stop time of Thomas, it's 17, 18 seconds, 19, 20, it's 4 tyres it looks like then, and it's going to mean that Tyler Schiffler's going to go by. 22.2 second stop for Stephen Thomas, there he goes. Is he going to be ahead of Clint Vigas though? It's not the best outlap by Vigas. Looks like Thomas is going to emerge in the Driftline racing car ahead of Clint Vigas. There you go, there's the proof. Thomas out ahead of Vigas.
Well, in my head at least, it seems like a good decision to get extra tyres here, just for the type of track that it is, and the loads put on the car with the long right-handers. Oh,
now this is drama. Mike Dam pass-through penalty. I haven't got the sim text open, so that could have been a potential speeding.
Just going to have a little look. Yeah, I can't say anything on that. It doesn't actually say what's happened with Mike Dam.
It was a straight pass-through penalty. So is that the punishment for the crime of speeding exiting the pit lane?
Potentially.
Kevin Ford's in. He definitely won't be. He'll be hoping that damage gets repaired during this quick pit stop. Andrew Forster also in as well, leader of the Open category in the Mustang category. Jim List also in the Mustangs. Away goes Kevin Ford. 17.9 second stop, quickest stop we've seen today. It will not get him out ahead of Stephen Thomas. He's just gone by, but I think it will also it will get him out as well ahead of Clint Vigas. So Vigas dropping back here as the pit stops continue to play out. Force it away as well, 15.1 seconds. He's going to be emerging at the back of the category behind Matthew Katila. In terms of the Mazdas, we haven't shown too much of their pit stops yet. John Allen leads the way. Greg Mack in second, 4 seconds behind him. It is close between Jim List and Travis Schwenke, 2 cars that have made pit stops. And Mike Dam, after all that, after all those pit stops, sits in 22nd place overall. Once we've had our commercial break, I will make sure that we can get the class filter graphic at the ready so I can show you that for the second half of the race, as we've got 28 minutes to go.
And I'm sure it'll be 28 very exciting minutes indeed. Aaron Nom in the pits for TBR. Brandon Whitworth in as well from what was third. It's about 8th, realistically, is Whitworth.
There he goes.
19 seconds. Well, 18.55 rounded up for Aaron.
So 2 tyres then. Tyler Schiffler going to emerge in second place then, or effective second place after all that. Russell Ruddock leads the way as things stand.
Yeah, good to see Russell Ruddock leading the race. I know he's not leading the race on pure merit, but he was in that leading group.
Yeah, here, give him a bit of air time as well. Russell Ruddock, 5 positions gained in the lead for the Flying Tortoise Motorsports 1 car. Leon Wright sat in second. Andrew Forster,
even if
it's the second time.
Even if you're slightly off of strategy, it's always a good feeling to see P1 next to your name.
That's a very heavily damaged Mustang there that Ruddock's just gone by.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that was involved in that crash earlier on, wasn't it? It's
and Alex Coffard, isn't it? Car 23.
Car 23, yeah, that's right. Coffard, a couple of laps down, I think. Let's see, he's on lap. Oh, he's like 13 laps down. He's only on his 10th lap, Coffard.
Indeed, yeah. Okay, here, John Allen. He is 4 tenths of a second away from Andrew Fawcett. That is a battle for position going on there. Fawcett has been into the pits for a second time as well, so problems for the HJ Motorsports car. And through some of these corners, the Mazda is on par with the Mustang in some parts of this circuit. It's just that back straight really where it's losing out.
Mazda's better in the better handling car, especially in these seeing this double apex. I think he's gained a lot there as Allen. Just doesn't have the horsepower to compete with the Mustangs. I'd love it if we could go to a track where the for some reason the Mazda was quicker. It'd be really interesting to see that dynamic actually, if they could find one.
It'd throw all sorts of upsets up in terms of qualifying. That's for
sure. It'd just be different, wouldn't it? And if the Mazdas were actually the fastest car, because obviously the Mustangs would have a straight line speed advantage. Jeff Lovell then through turn 1, there's a car crashed. Oh no!
Now that's
Jim List. It was Jim List.
Let's have a look.
What happened to the man who was up in the top 3? He's coming out of turn 1. Does he get the grass at him? He does. Oh no.
Yeah. All the 6s and 7s. And then...
he tries to get it off the line. I did feel like Lovell had a lot of time to see that, though. I'm being a bit harsh, maybe? Because, I mean, the car did come back across the track.
Yeah, but then if you sometimes do get the spotter saying go left and then or whatever,
and it might have gone,
and then you're committed in a sense, aren't you? Really, and I've been there before where you just jam on the brakes hoping that something will happen, and then you just end up going into the scene of the accident, like poor Jeff Lovell did there, and that is the first 2 Mazdas to be involved in any of the crashes today, I believe.
Michael Key's in the pits. He was up to 6th at one point, Michael Key.
Yeah, no.
The veteran.
No Clue Motorsports, car 98. Away he goes, 17.05 seconds. He's going to emerge in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10th or 11th place in class.
And when I say veteran with Michael Key, he's about 70 years old. So, tremendous job from him just to be out there, really. And going around at the speed he's going. But he's running in 9th at the moment in class. So he was up as high as 6th before the pit stops. But yeah, doing a good job out there, looking like he's got some speed around this Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
John
hosted the Canadian Grand Prix here as well before Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Indeed, yeah. As far back just before 1978. 78 was the first one at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We were talking during the World GT broadcast about how that circuit's undergone some changes in that time, in what, 80, 90, in the 40 years of running that Grand Prix.
It's crazy that's been doing that for 40 years actually. Now, but am I imagining things, or was the Canadian Grand Prix at Mont Tremblant as well at one point?
You may be right.
I'll have a little look at that while you do that.
Mont Tremblant, I was driving that the other day on Grid Autosport.
It's a nice track. It's a nice track, very picturesque. Let's have a look.
Hosted the Grand Prix
1968 and 1970.
Went on to host Trans Am and USAC Grand Am as well. I think Champ Car went there once. Yeah, 2007, the final season of the Champ Car World Series.
And hey, look, that was won by a Minardi.
There you go.
Robert Dornbos.
I was just going to say, have a little go on the YouTube chat, see if you can get that one right.
There you go, former Formula 1 driver, Robert Dornbos.
For Minardi. Did a few test outings for Jordan as well, I think.
Did some races for Red Bull as well, didn't he? Did half a season for Red Bull Racing as well, I think 2006.
Is that after the demise of Christian Klein?
Yes, so that's right. Tell you what, if you look at that champ car, this is just digressing a little bit, but if you look at the people who drove in that champ car race, you've got Sebastian Bourdais, Graham Rahal, Paul Tracy, Oriol Servia.
Do we have Max Power?
Will Power. Simon Pagano, Alex Tagliani, Justin Wilson, Catherine Legg, Bruno Junqueira, Neil Yarni.
Oriol Servia, yeah.
Roberto Moreno was in there, so you know that was a great roster of drivers in 2007. You don't realise actually that Graham Rahal is now 29. You still think of him as being a really, really young driver.
Yeah, he was a teenager where he made his mark in 2008, the following year at St. Petersburg in the rain, and has gone on from there. Very unfortunate not as far as I'm aware, win an iRacing title, an IndyCar title.
Yeah, it hasn't, but he's got 6 wins, and he took one win in Champ Car in that 1 year of competition. What happened to the Minardi Team USA anyway?
I think they went when it got unified, I think.
The funny thing with the Minardi team was it was actually registered as a British team.
Oh, right. Was Paul Stoddart on the books for that team as well?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. It turned into HVM.
I would try and guess what HVM meant, but
which turned into yeah, they were still going until 2012, I think, were HVM Motorsport. They had the likes of Simona Di Silvestro in the car.
Was it the same team
and
that Tony Kanata?
Ryan Hunter-Reay tested for them.
All right. Oh, Kevin Ford, a bit wide there.
EJ Viso was the one who was in it the most.
Is that fuel light that's on Russell Ruddock's car on that left-hand side? I can see a red light.
The orange light?
Yeah.
Red light?
I think that's just. I think what we
He's pitted though, hasn't he? So it can't be, surely.
I think we get the gears on the spectator mode, but I think that fuel light might just be on by default. If we switch to Kevin Ford's, yeah, we get the same thing as well. So we get the gear stats now in an iRacing update, but we don't get the fuel numbers. That would help enormously because we could then tell who was going to be running out of fuel as Jordy Fike pits. Oh, Jim List Go on.
I was just going to say Kevin Ford's car looks a bit worse for wear at the front, doesn't it, from all the little nudges with Travis Davis. But yeah, sorry, you were saying about Jim List. What's happened to him?
Something that was a Jim List. He's left the pits, and I think he's just going to... Oh, yeah, the car's undrivable. And
it's knackered, isn't it?
He's going to jump back to the pits again.
Yeah, no good.
Right then, John Allen. This commercial break will happen soon. We're just waiting on John Allen to come into the pits and service pit stop. We've got 18 minutes to go here, so we've got just over a quarter of an hour to decide this, and John Allen is defying logic, as he always does in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, of staying out longer than anybody else. This is lap 28 of the race. Might take away a lap for when the Mazda's got lapped, so he's on his 27th lap here and he still hasn't come in.
Well, how many times have we talked about the pit strategy for John Allen, and how it can be unorthodox?
Right.
Patrick Prevost hasn't been in either, so
this is it. He's coming in. There you go.
Tell you what, he's taken that to the limit, though, hasn't he?
Right, yellow cones are there.
And oh, has he stopped that in time? That looked like it was a little marginal. See his pit stop, and then we will go for a little advert break.
Right, here's Travis Schwenke. He is second in class, and he's just coming down the back straight now. It will be a pretty short stop for John Allen because he's only got to compete for another 15 minutes or so. So We'll see what happens.
Look for maybe about, what, the 15, 16-second mark? 19 seconds. He's away.
I reckon he's got this.
I think he's got it by quite some distance as well.
Yeah, here he comes.
Wow. He's going to have 7 or 8 seconds, John Allen.
Clarify that for you now.
That's tremendous. 7.5. Well, that is brilliant, I have to say.
And what this has meant then, with 15 minutes to go, is that the closest battle we've got on circuit is in the Mustangs between Stephen Thomas, not between Stephen Thomas and Kevin Ford, between Kevin Ford and Russell Ruddick for the 4th position. So we will take a quick break here on Apex Racing TV. We will recap matters when we come back and get set for the final 10 minutes here at the Ricmotech Sports Car Series here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park.
Welcome back to the Ricmotech Sports Car Series here at the Motorsport Circuit in Canada. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath with you for Apex Racing TV. We're into the final quarter of the race, and it's shaping up to be a good one. Pit stop strategy has really turned this one on its head, especially in the MX-5s, Adam, after it's looking comfortable for Aeronom in the Mustangs, but it's John Allen who's really looked like he's made the most of this.
Yeah, we've got it sorted now during the break, and now you can see just the MX-5s on our timing tower, and it's, yeah, John Allen leading by 6.5 seconds. He's still got to get there, and sometimes with John Allen that seems to be a difficult task, especially with running out of fuel on the way to the line. I remember the heartbreak at Daytona for that one, but I'm sure that has been ironed out now with just under 14 minutes to go. He's looking set here unless anything dramatic happens. It is pretty much spread out in that Mazda MX-5 category after an opening half to a race where it was bumper to bumper for everybody.
Yeah, it's been a good one, this. I've enjoyed it. It's a shame that, like I say, it's always a shame that the way the races pan out is that it's geared towards basically the pit stop phase and after. Because I feel if these guys, if there was some rules changed that these guys could really go for it for the whole race, I feel like we'd see an absolute cracker.
Stephen Thomas eating into Tyler Shiflett's advantage here. The gap's coming down corner by corner. Looking at the lap times, we can get the last lap time up on the timing tower as well for you. 29.4 on that last lap. 29.0 for Stephen Thomas. A half a second difference between Shiflett and Thomas, and the driftline car of Thomas is slowly but surely getting into him, and he could be gone by the time we come around to complete this lap.
Yeah, I think you're right. We can physically see how much he's gained. He's right there now. Is Stephen Thomas? Like I said a few times tonight, he does lead the championship. unsurprisingly, given this form and pace. He's always been a driver, Adam, who's been around the top 5 for a long time now, but this season he's really made that extra step.
Done pretty well, and he'll be trying to get every single point that he can get towards this title challenge, especially because Aeronom just cannot stop winning at the moment, and he's got an 11-second advantage at the front, so it looks set to be another race victory here. Thomas, potential dummy going on here, going into the right-hander. Schiffler able to just about hold on.
I'm just looking at the fastest lap times of the race, actually, and Aeronom does have it with a 1:27.9. That was done on lap 3, I believe. Where's Thomas going to make the move then, do you think? I think it's going to be after that long back straight?
I reckon he might do it here.
Here we go then.
Maybe not. It looked like
no, it's possible though, isn't it? Maybe into the double right-hander at the top of the hill. It's a chance.
Well, this won't help matters. This is Patrick Prevost. They're trying to negotiate here.
Let's see then. Prevost maintaining his line, as is the sensible option, because you always get told when you're the slower category to do that.
Sorry, it's Chris Torman, I should say.
Because it makes it's a similar looking car, actually. It's just giving Schiffler a little bit of breathing space, but now we're going to see the slipstream and we're going to see the gap coming down. Gap is coming down. It's not quick enough for Stephen Thomas's liking, though. Gained a 10th on this straight. That's it. The 10th is all he'll get.
It's his final sector, though, where it comes into it. Schiffler, by the way, took 2 tyres in his pit stop. Stephen Thomas took 4. And we're seeing the difference with 10 minutes to go. Through the first corner then. Using all that inside runoff area and then drifting out wide to the curbs. That's how we saw a big crash in the Mazda MX-5s earlier. Those brake lights on and off, trying to slow the car down. And what a run.
Oh, good run.
To the outside.
Oh, he's going to go wide. Oh, he somehow saved it. Well, there was trying to go around the outside, but it was well and truly a difficult option. It was a good attempt, I have to say. That car with representing the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian University as well.
Here he comes again.
TCU, they are they're quite a good team in college football, but here comes on the outside. Thomas again, trying to blitz Tyler Schiffler. But shall we say Schiffler employing somewhat of a man-to-man coverage here on Thomas. And Thomas now going to the outside. But it's going to be difficult into this first corner. Because it's not a long straight, Adam, even though it's a main straight, the pitch straight. It's one of the shortest ones on the course, actually.
Yeah, in fact, the straight coming out of turn 1 is probably a little bit longer than that front straight there as we go through turn 2. Not close enough for a run just yet. Oh, on the grass.
Oh!
And I thought that was curtains then for Tyler Schiffler.
Well, he had a bit of a wiggle on, didn't he? Looked like it was going to be potentially over. Just to update you on the Mazda, just while these two side by side, it's 7 seconds still between John Allen and Travis Fenke. But here we go, Thomas now trying to make something happen with less than 10 minutes to go. 8 minutes to go, to be precise.
Alex Coffard has crashed. He was already in difficulty. Crashed earlier, and it looks like he might have done so again. And he's towed back to the pits. So, not going well at all for Alex Coffard here. reaching speeds of 210, 200, what else? Yeah, just about 210 kph as we get on the brakes at the end of the back straight here as this battle for the runners-up spot continues, and potentially this one could have ramifications in terms of the championship. We'll have to see what this does in terms of points between Nom and Thomas if it stays like this, but when we head to the next race meeting, this could be really interesting.
I think it will be. I think it's going to run and run this one.
Just going to quickly see where
all
we
the
are
way
going.
through the rest of the season, and it's super close again as they go down the hill through 2 and into the right-hander of 3, and once again Schiffler has to cover the inside, cover his bases. It's not been the best season for Schiffler, actually. When you look at the GS class, he's actually down in 12th.
Oh,
this is only his 7th race that he's competed in. He has missed 3. Tyler Schiffler, but still only 12th. And he does have a win to his name, though. One of only the 2 races that wasn't won by Aeronom. But here comes Thomas, buried in the slipstream. He is getting that advantage, but is it enough? It's not enough. Again, he has to settle in behind Tyler Schiffler.
it's just in the final third of that straight where he gets the overspeed, and even then it's only about 5 or 6 kilometers an hour, so
Just not quite enough, is it? It's a 10th or so, 10th and a half, maybe 2 tenths, but that's not enough when you typically 1 car length. Adam is about 2 tenths anyway.
yeah. And he's,
So unless you get a fantastic slipstream, you're not really. And he had a fantastic slipstream there. It didn't really do anything. This is probably a good distance if he can stay. Oh, that's a great run though. That is a terrific run through 3.
oh,
Through 2, sorry, and into 3. Don't know why I get that mixed up so often. But here we go. He's still got a bit of an overlap on him. He might be able to fly up the inside here in 4, but it does mean he's got the outside for 5 and 6.
now what you saw there through this opening half a lap is the advantage of that extra tyre life that Stephen Thomas has. He can take much tighter lines through those really long left-handers that we go through. And well,
Oh!
don't know where he was going there as we're coming up to lap some Mazdas.
I have absolutely no idea. Hasn't hurt him too much though, still 0.2 of a second. That's the 2 Mazdas battling. One of them's on the grass behind. Bobby Childs is one of the ones involved in that battle, but... Oh, he's going to try the outside, Thomas, but doesn't manage it. Great battle, this.
4 minutes.
It's also a very good battle between Greg Mack and Mike Dam for 5th in the MX5 category as well. Just have a quick look. Have a quick look at that one.
In fact, those are the 2 cars that as Mike Dam's disappeared. Oh no!
Oh, I hope that's not what I think it is. Oh, he's back, but he's had a history of issues with this connection, and they're right next to this other battle.
There's a Mazda off in the background. It's Patrick Prevenis. Looks like he didn't hit anything. He's back.
Is that turn 2 again?
That was turn 4.
It was turn 2 again, wasn't it? Yeah, he's had some issues with that.
Right.
Oh, look at this now. Look at this now. Surely he's got to have a chance here, as I can hear a crash.
Nice.
But we'll come back to that in a bit.
Oh, it's Kevin Ford. It was.
Here we go. We'll just see this pan out on this run into the final corners, and then we'll have a look at Kevin Ford's incident. Now Thomas is around the outside, but he can't. Can he maintain it with the new tyres? Yes. Oh, but Schiffler around the outside. Oh. It's brilliant. Outstanding.
Thomas nearly lost.
Can he get the cutback?
Well.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic stuff, that. Really good.
Well,
Let's have a look and see what befell our league admin, then Kevin Ford.
Oh, was it the Mazda that brought him out?
It's possible, but maybe just a rear wheel. Did he get a rear wheel on the grass? I don't think the Mazda was going slowly or anything. Oh, the Mustang can do that to you, though. The Mustang can bite you just when you least expect it.
Right then, what a fantastic...
Seen it many times. It's happened to me when I've been in the car.
Was that the commentator's challenge?
Well, practicing for it, definitely. I didn't actually crash the car in the commentator's challenge. Somebody crashed into me.
Oh, that's those commentators for you.
Yeah, well, nobody said we could drive, did they? That's why those who can't do talk about it is one of my favourite sentences.
Andrew Woodhouse is a commentator in this. No wonder he does so well.
Badly, yeah. What's the bit? If Kevin Ford keeps doing that, he'll be an announcer in no time.
Well, Mike Dam, it's almost his look around Canadian circuits is as bad as Jack Villeneuve's. He's had to jump back. He's had to jump back to the pits, and he's done for the day. I'm sorry, Mike, but hey, at least it's not. At least I didn't say it's the Rubens Barrichello jinx. I think that might just be a little bit worse.
Poor Rubens, dear me. I know he's about on iRacing every now and again. Is Mr. Barrichello? I hope he's not watching it now due to that. But
I was scrolling through my Instagram earlier, and I did see...
I went on the internet and I found this.
I saw someone had done a very clever Photoshop transformation of Valtteri Bottas into Rubens Barrichello after what transpired at the weekend.
Oh dear.
Right then, this could be the last lap. I think we might squeeze one more in here. So
I suppose who's laughing though? Valtteri's got a big fat contract in his pocket.
Oh, this could be it.
Wish he had that world title in his pocket, but that's another story for another day.
Oh, I've heard a story about some sour grapes from a certain British F1 driver that I might bring up later.
Oh dear, you'll have to tell me later on. But here comes Thomas again with a great slipstream. This time he's gaining more and more on Tyler Schiffler. We're going to get one more lap because Aeronom's so far ahead. Oh, this time. Now then. Where's Schiffler? There he is.
And this time he cannot...
Is he still alongside?
No, he can't. Surely he's through.
Oh!
Yeah,
through goes Stephen Thomas. That was good. Very, very good. I think Schiffler might just be losing the tyres a little bit, Adam, just compared to Thomas.
Here it is again from another angle. We're on the final lap of the race, so by the time we see this replay, we'll be able to see Aeronom come around to take the checker flag. Here it is from outside the car. Only outside, and this time Thomas...
Oh, he just got a twitch.
Yeah, Schiffler had no tyre life left at that point.
Just got a twitch on, didn't he, halfway through that corner, which he was so strong through on the previous lap. Aeronom then. Well, it's been a really good performance. I mean, you can tell it's been such a good performance because we've barely featured him on the broadcast at all. He's just been dominant, the Estonian, and he's only got one sector to go and really has been a clinic.
Brilliant job. He's just...
I think Clint Vigas is off the course. Well, we'll have a look at that in a moment. It says he's lost out to Brandon Whitworth, but here comes Aeronom round the final corner to win his 8th race out of 8. He takes victory in round 10 at Mosport. Aeronom is your winner, ladies and gentlemen.
John Allen's still got quite a way to go. It's going to be second place for Stephen Thomas, though. And what a driver spin as well. Persevered for a good half an hour to try and get by Tyler Schiffler. And in the end, he will settle for the bronze medal position. It's going to be Russell Ruddock in 4th, Brandon Whitworth 5th. It's going to be Clint Vigas instead that's going to finish in 6th place. So a change for position there on the final lap of the race.
Stephen Thomas had to do that, didn't he, for the championship? Because he's already lost. He has lost some more points to Aeronom. He's done one more race than him. On Vigas, that's what happened. He went very wide, didn't hit anything. But when it's the last lap, maybe it doesn't really make a lot of difference. as he loses out to Brandon Whitworth. Good drive by Whitworth, actually. 5th place. That's actually... he's been in the top 5 4 times this season. But that's one of the better drives I've seen from him. And here comes John Allen. He's got a few corners to go. And what a drive, Adam. The first stint was measured, and then the pit stop phase was just inspired.
Really was. Didn't pit, so we had about at least 15 minutes to go. And this Whip's an absolute treat. Had about a 6-second lead, and he's managed to consolidate that here, and he wins the ST category. 2nd for Travis Schwenke. And Jody Fikes already crossed the line, and he finishes in 5th. And that is everybody across the line now.
What a drive by John Allen. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. To just gain all that time out of absolutely nowhere on someone as good as Travis Schwenke, gained 7 seconds in the pits, maintained 6 of them to the end. That is very, very good indeed.
As the cars coast back into the pit lane, we can get those results at the ready and get them up on the screen. Which you'll do any second now. Oh, seeing that. Excuse that for a second.
Overlooking the green and pleasant land that is Canada. Aaron Nom will be very, very pleased that he raced here tonight. 35 points for him over Stephen Thomas, 30 points. And then Tyler Shiflett, Russell Ruddock, Brandon Whitworth, Clint Vigas, Matthew Catila in 7th, Leon Wright in 8th, Andrew Fawcett in 9th, and Robert Brist in 10th. John Allen was the winner, of course, in the MX-5s, ahead of Travis Schwenke, Jody Fike in 3rd, David Payton 4th, Greg Mack 5th, Bobby Charles in 6th, Chris Tolman 7th, Michael Key 8th. And then the rest of them, the retirements, Kevin Ford, Patrick Prevenas did finish the race, Mike Dam didn't. Look, probably connection issues. Again, Jeff Jacobs in 22nd, Jeff Lovell, Jim List, Alex Coffard, Nathan Thomas, David Warren, Travis Davis. All of them bit the dust, and Travis McGill was the first one out. Well, that was a good one. I did enjoy that.
I don't think we expected anything less, and we have a very jubilated race winner waiting to talk to us. And here he is, Aaron Nom, just can't stop winning, and another win here, another comfortable win around Mosport.
Yeah, it was. I was able to get away pretty easy and pretty comfortable win.
Was there any moment during the race where you felt particularly under threat once you'd shaken off the threat from the other drivers behind you?
Maybe 5-6 laps in, I was trying to be clean and get no incidents. I almost lost it in the, I don't know what scary corner that is before the straight.
Well, it's all going so well for you at the moment. Is there anything that you fear ahead of the rest of the season?
Yeah, maybe just some bad luck, but I just have to do my thing, and yeah, I think it will be possible.
Yeah, I guess if you start at the front, then you're doing everything possible to avoid getting caught in trouble. What was it like in terms of the pit stop strategy today? Because we saw a mixture of drivers taking 2 and 4 tyres. I guess with you being in the lead, it wasn't too much of an issue for you what tyres you took.
I took left sides because the fuel was not so much, and yeah, no point to think 4. I think you lost 4 or 5 seconds if you took 4 tyres.
Great, and unfortunately I don't have a calendar to hand, so I don't know where we're off to next week, unless you know.
No.
No, I don't either, to be fair. Unfortunately, the schedule on the Ricmotech website doesn't work, so I can't help you on that one. But before we let you go, Arrow, on on what has been a pretty good night for you. Do you want to send any shout-outs to anybody?
Yes, the league sponsors and you guys and the admins that are doing great work.
Great. Well, another formality race victory for you, and the 100% record just keeps on going. So we'll see if it rolls over to the next one next week.
Yeah, it will be Watkins Glen put. So yeah, see you next week.
Oh yeah, Watkins Glen, that should be good. Yeah, thanks for talking to us, Aaron.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, Aaron, I'm there, Adam, and it's just dominated.
It's almost it's shades of 2013, isn't it? The first few races where the first few races of the 2013 season when the Pirelli rubber was at its most random. We got some random results there at the start of this Ricmotech season. Then Aero Nom turns up, and it's similar to those Pirelli tyre changes happening. And since then, it's been the Aero Nom show all the way. And if he wins a Watkins Glen, we could really be talking about a Martin Kroenke style dominance here in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series.
Tell you what, though, you cannot count out Stephen Thomas, second again today, and he showed that he was capable of fighting his way through and making that crucial move on the final lap when it was most necessary. So
yeah,
Thomas should retain the championship lead, but only just.
Showed that he was still thinking about the points. He could have settled for that third position, but he realised that he had that extra tyre life and exploited it for the last part of the race, closed in on Tyler Shiflett. Probably took him a bit longer than he would have liked to get that second place, but keeps Aero Nom at arm's length. And it will be really interesting to see when we start the broadcast next week, the state of play in the championship standings, because Aero Nom is looking quite unstoppable at the moment.
It's going to be very, very good indeed the rest of the season. So please ensure that you stay with us and see it. Right. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching tonight here on Apex Racing TV. I've been Andrew Woodhouse. He's been Adam Bath. This has been Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and we've enjoyed the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. We'll see you in just, well, about another, 17 hours' time when the BSR MX5 Cup continues. So we'll see you then here on Apex Racing TV. Good night.
Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live coverage coming your way right now.